My first contact with Counter-Strike in general, it's like a long time ago. I don't even remember. It was Counter-Strike 1.0. I think it was released like in 2002 or something. Back then I was obviously quite young. I was like 12 or something. I didn't really play the game serious. I just played it a couple of times. I thought it was pretty cool, but didn't really think much of it. I played a lot of other games as well. It was like until 2010 or something that I really suddenly had the feeling, okay, I'm actually pretty good at this game. Maybe if I put a lot of time in it, I can actually become one of the top players. So I feel like 2010 is the start of my like esports career. In that sense, back then it wasn't as professional as it is now. You had like big tournaments, but only a couple per year. Teams were not paid very well compared to now. Prize money was a lot lower, so you just did it more for the competition and for the love of the game, not because you were thinking, oh, I'm going to be able to live off this or something. That's something that came as an added bonus later, which obviously was really nice, but the start is just because I love to play Counter-Strike so much and I wanted to show the world that I can be one of the best. I mean, for beginners, yeah, you definitely need to have fun playing, you need to have passion for the game. If you're just gonna try and play to earn some money off it, I think that's the wrong attitude, and it's gonna be really hard to actually enjoy the hours you need to put in and actually perform well. But saying that you have the passion for the game, I think a smart thing to do is first play a lot, kind of obvious answer, but second that is watch the good players or the players a bit above your level and actually try to think and realize, okay, they're doing certain moves, it's paying off, but why are they playing like that? Try to realize why did this guy throw this grenade? Why is he not good throwing this grenade? Or why is he moving here, moving there? And by that you learn to think about the game, and then you can actually improve your own skill level as well. I think one of my skills that I learned over the years is to talk good, communicate good, help my teammates. Another thing that came more natural to me, and I always already kind of had, is that I like to play really aggressive, and in a way I don't have fear for the opponent, which can be good and bad sometimes, because sometimes I start to feel that I'm invincible, and that can help because you're really confident and you're hitting everything, then it obviously helps. But when you're not having the best game, then you're gonna be seen as doing stupid mistakes because you're putting yourselves in more risky positions. So that's one thing I still need to work on. I've been working on that, and I feel like I improved in that over time. But it's still something I can do better. Realize when to actually try and have an impact in the round. Realize when you need to go aggressive or move forward, and realize when you need to play more passives and let your teammates do the work. About training, I think it depends on the person and maybe on the time in your life. I feel like when you're younger, it's really easy to like play the whole day and just basically live Counter-Strike the whole day. You don't have many other obligations except for school or something. But when you're younger, people can play for like 10, 12 hours and they can have full focus and a lot of fun during all those time. But later when you already played a lot, or some people have that earlier, that after, for example, 4, 5, 6 hours, you get a bit tired and you're not really that motivated anymore, and you're only playing because you want to get better. But I feel those hours after your motivation is gone are usually wasted, and it makes more sense to rest then and regain energy for the next training session and actually improve more in a smaller amount of time. I mean, I think it definitely helps to be in physical shape, yeah. I mean, you don't need to be like some bodybuilder or anything, or be playing football a lot or tennis a lot, whatever. But it helps to be in good condition. I mean, your body and mind are working together. When your body is in terrible shape, your mind is also not going to be working at its top level. So it's definitely a good thing to eat healthy, to at least get some exercise, and you're going to see your game improve with it as well. I mean, esports have definitely been growing a lot. I mean, Counter-Strike and Dota, for example, last couple of years, it really blew up. Like how many tournaments there are, how much prize money there is, stuff like that, and how many people are watching, obviously. It's hard to say how it's going to be like in 5 years. I expect it to keep growing, but it made a really big growth in a short time. I don't think it's going to keep growing that fast, because that's like in a way impossible. If it keeps growing so fast for the next 5 years, then it's like the whole world is watching Counter-Strike, and I don't think that's going to happen. But I think it's going to be growing a lot more for sure. For sure, I feel super blessed to be a sports player. I mean, I never was the kind of guy to think like, oh, I want to be a pro player when I was like younger. At some point I realized, okay, maybe I could be a pro player, and I have a lot of fun playing, so why not try it? And I'm just super happy it worked out, and I can live with this game, and yeah, just have my hobby as a job. Well, when I was still in high school, my family wasn't that happy I was playing a lot of games. I had to do 1 year over because that wasn't only because of Counter-Strike. I was playing Counter-Strike and other games, but I was just spending too much time behind the computer. At that point, they weren't happy about it. But later, as I said, like in 2010, I made like this decision to try and become a pro. And then my parents were like, okay, if you want to try that and you're really gonna work hard for it, then go for it, see where it takes you. Because they're like, if you're gonna do something which you don't really enjoy, that's also a waste of your life in a way. So they supported me in that sense completely. My parents usually actually they've been to ESA 1 Cologne now 3 times, I think. That's the only tournament they go to, because the rest is usually too far away. But yeah, the sad thing is in Cologne we never do good, so they never seen me playing on stage yet. But they're obviously really happy it's going good at other tournaments. I feel I recognize the audience in a way that it helps me, because it gives me like more energy. It makes me feel like every round that I play, every frag that I make, every move that happens, it's just more important. And it's just a different kind of feeling when you're playing, you're winning rounds and everybody's screaming and stuff and shouting. It really makes you feel that the game matters more. But I would say I'm not paying attention in a way that distracts me. It's not like, oh, fuck, there's so many people watching me. I need to do my best now or something. I'm not affected by it in that way. So I don't know, I just really enjoy the feeling, because it makes it feel like it matters more. Yeah, that's, I think, the most important thing for me. And obviously also the quality needs to be good. It shouldn't be that if you play with something for 1 month, it's broken already and you need to get used to something else, right? I feel like tennis is a good comparison. Yeah, I imagine they also have a preference in what kind of racket they have. And you just get used to something after a while. You cannot go to a big tournament and suddenly switch your racket and expect to do exactly the same. Same in CS, you cannot go to a tournament, suddenly play with a different mouse, with a different shape and a different sensor. It's just going to feel different and totally put you off your game. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if you're playing with inferior equipment, you're definitely going to be a step behind of other teams. Theoretically, a really good player could play with worse equipment and still do good. But if you put 2 really good players against each other, then obviously every single thing matters. So if the one has a worse mouse, that sometimes is a bit less precise because it's like an outdated sensor or whatever, that player is gonna probably lose because this can affect the outcome of certain rounds. What makes a good mouse for me? I would say the mouse clicks need to be good, like it needs to be not too easy to press, not too hard. Shape needs to be good, and that obviously depends a bit on the person, what they prefer. The cable needs to be not too, how to say it, strong or tough to move, because you need to be like really able to make fluid movements, and if it's not that good of a cable, that can be hard. And as I mentioned before, sensor is super important. You need to have a sensor that's always going to be performing good, even when you make fast movements. It always needs to be the same. So.